Hello guys, where we're at here today, what we're doing. So, I've been trying to tackle on this do-it-yourself project for a big minute, months. As you see right here, I got these Smart Junction Blocks. It houses a bunch of fuses and a relay. It's like the computer and the brains of the car. And so I took some notes and I labeled what each component is, and this is not my original one. I bought one from eBay that's used, and it didn't go as planned when it came to replacing it. Just swapping it out, which is not that easy. You gotta have some kind of tool that allows you to program these guys to transfer over the VIN number and the key fobs to the computer, or else it triggers the immobilizer, which I tried out. I swapped it out, got all the connections in place. I was all plug and play. Some of these connections were stubborn, but good thing for PV Blaster, the silicone based one. That way it doesn't, deteriorate the plastic, but still, with all of that, I was able to get all the connectors disconnected, and then reattach them to the replacement. And it just, when I put the key in there, and boom, it didn't make that sound, but it made some kind of sound. Everything just disengaged. It just sounded like a bad noise. And so I was like, fuck, the immobilizer kicked in. The battery was not even registering its connection to the car. And so nothing was turning on. Anyways, that goes for that plan. I could go into the next further state of try hard, which is to buy the tool and learn how to program Fords. It's like the 4Scan OB2 scanners. That sounds like a bitch. So I was like, fuck that. And I decided to just work on an alternative route, like bypassing the Smart Junction Box, because it ain't cheap to replace it and then to program it and to pay somebody else to do it. Hence why I like to advocate a lot of DIY projects. And so right here, right in front of me, you're gonna see what I currently have. I have a circuit that's drafting out the idea that I have in mind, that I've been looking into. And let me tell you what the problem is. That way you guys know what the solution at hand is in front of me. And so for anybody out there that's having an issue with your Smart Junction Box and you don't want to replace it, maybe you're dealing with a non-serviceable relay or fuse, or I don't know, something that's part of the circuit that's classified as non-serviceable. And so fucking A, that means you gotta replace the Smart Junction Box, but that's not something that you want to resort to. And so my issue is that on my 2008 Ford Focus, I have a fuse right here. This is fuse 23. It's a 15 amp fuse. What does it do? It's associated to the parking lights of my car that are not working, and I don't know why. I'm thinking it's a short in the Smart Junction Box, perhaps. I do not know. Maybe it's the switch, but I think the switch is fine because I'm big diagnosing that motherfucker, and I'm getting continuity in the settings that I think would make sense, that would work for it. The switch that's toggled on. Anyhow, the fuse that I was showing right here off to the side, the Smart Junction Box, fuse 23, it gets power. I get 12 volts on each side of the fuse, and it's just not releasing like enough juice, I guess, to power the parking lights, or the relay or something is not triggering or the relay's malfunctioning for the parking lamps. So I'm just beat. I'm just kind of defeated at this point because it's been months and I just got my time to. I want to learn other things, you know? I want to make a drone, like a first point of view, you know? In time. Anyhow, so my parking lights are not working. And I don't want to replace my Smart Junction box because I tried that and I guess I got a code and I don't want to do that. Get the tool and all that. And so what I have in front of me is a alternate route to fix this problem that I have at hand. It is that these parking lights won't come on. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wire up a whole new set of wires to get this idea into a reality, which is, here we go. Let's see. All right, as you see right here in front of me, it's a spaghetti of a mess. And so what do we got? We got this inline fuse of 15 amps. That's simulating what I'm gonna set up for my focus. And so there's a little slight modification to this. I'm gonna adjust it as I actually put it on the car. But yeah, I'm gonna try this out. Moment of truth. I'm gonna go ahead and see if this relay works. I haven't really fucked with relays too much in the past other than installing a fog lights in my car, and so hey, I did it then. Should be able to do it again now, right? Anyways, I don't have no idea if this works. Let's give it a try. I sure hear a click. I sure hear a click. Okay, so it switches to that. Sure hear a click. Ooh, that sounded disgusting. What the fuck was that? You guys heard that shit? What the fuck? I'm gonna go ahead and play that back. Play the audio back. Damn, what the hell was that? Should I do it again? Interesting. It's not making that noise anymore. I think it glowed. Alright. After reviewing the footage, I did get this guy glowing. I did get that guy to make a noise. I was expecting like a click, like an audible click. You know what it's known for relays to do, and instead I got whatever the fucking noise that was. What the hell was that noise? The hell, dying fucking sheep or something? What the hell? Low key sound like a moan, you know? What the fuck? The signals he's trying to send me now. Anyways, I'm afraid to try this setup again. I think I may have fucked that relay with this spaghetti of a mess. I don't even know if I'm doing my shit right. Fuck it. All right, you know what? I think that's a win. That's a fucking W, right, guys? Little weird ass noise, but it works. Skeptical on having it on. Fuck it, bro. You don't even want to find out once. YOLO. Okay, that's just. We gotta figure this out. Is it because I don't have the signal switch. I don't have the switch powered through a different power. Maybe that's what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and try to fuck around with that. But this is obviously a work in progress. I'm not gonna call this an L. I'm not gonna call this a W. This is what I call progress. All right, let's continue the grind. Should probably I'm gonna learn more. I'm gonna go ahead and fuck around and find out what this shit. Okay, so at this point, I'm not sure if I can reuse this original switch for my car, despite me knowing which two pins correspond to the parking light. And then I would have to figure out a method to get this also turned on while it's on the headlights. And so it's starting to become a headache. I think I can overcome this, but the convenient solution over here on just getting a switch in is really tempting. I'm about to say fuck it. I'm about to go with this route. Gonna wire in this switch. It's a single, I think it's known as a single pong? Is that what it's called? Single pong switch? Just a simple on and off switch. That's all it is, man. It was meant for this battery case. Just do it yourself, portable battery case, but I think this is just more, it'll be better use case for this. Anyways, I tried it out, and it pretty much gets the same results as this, so you know it's Gucci. And for that funny noise, I don't know why it's making that funny noise. Maybe this is not providing enough voltage. This is, I think, supposed to be 12 volts coming in, and I'm getting like 10 volts out of this, so maybe that's why it's making a funny noise. And then it just shuts off. And maybe that's related to not enough power. I hope that's the case, because to my knowledge, I have all of this wired correctly, and I'm gonna go ahead and compare that to what I find online to see if I get confirmation like that. But for the most part, let's just write it down. I don't know how this even wired up. So let's go ahead and start with the battery bank. So over here I got like, I don't even know how many batteries it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 batteries combined together give me 10 volts. Got your plus and minuses, kind of just pinch them together right here. The black is the negative going into the relay, and then the power comes out into the yellow. But this yellow line only releases power to the bulb if this relay detects a signal from a switch, which is coming from this white wire that's connected by this paper clip, and this purple wire on the white are connected together by this paper clip. And so I connect this purple wire to the black end of the switch, and the red wire connects to the power red terminal output for the battery bank. And there's actually 3 connections at this node. And so right here you see coming out is this red wire that represents power. You connect it to the red line on this switch, which then energizes it when I toggle the switch on, and then it comes grounded to the black that I connect to this purple line, which, you know, continues the circuit down to this relay, which tells it to turn on the main power line, which is the yellow and black. Yeah. Anyways, that's my understanding on how it works. It's yeah, this is not the best setup, but it's working, and it's a work in progress. It's obviously could be better, and I'm gonna hack at it. Alright, that's it for now. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna try to continue this more off camera, and I'll give you guys an update on it when I figure out the next step. Partly play. I like to mess around as I go, so that's what keeps me entertained. That's why I'm curious. Even if I see a clear path, yes, I know I could run with it, but let me meander on the way. Even if I trip, even if I fuck up something, bro, I got that 30-day return window that I'm gonna exploit. For the most part, it works. My assumptions are pretty solid, but not all of them come to fruition, so that's why I gotta fuck around and find out. Let's go ahead and continue the process, guys. I'll keep you guys posted. Alright, we out for now. Alright, guys, what do we have here? Here's an update on the on the car issue that's happening. The parking lights aren't working, so when you turn this to the P, it's supposed to eliminate the parking lights, right? The 2 in the front and 2 in the back, plus the license plate lights, and it's not complying, and I've been trying to figure out why. And so after fucking around with this 10-pin connector switch, I was able to figure out through continuity what two pins correlate to the parking light, and it's pin 1 and pin 3. And even with that in mind, I still can't get this shit to cooperate to what I want it to do. And so with that said, I regret to inform you guys that I was not able to install this relay new added circuit to be compliant with this switch. It just did not want to cooperate with me for the task, and so I'm not going to use the original. This is the original switch for my 2008 Ford Focus. This headlight switch still works, and this off switch kind of works. I have to modify this a bit because I think I may have messed up the internal circuitry even further from what it was already. Anyhow, let's get on to what I have. What do I have in front of me? It's a Smart Junction box that has the fuses that's underneath the dash of the driver's side. And looking at it right here, this one gives power to the front two in the parking lights in the front. This one right here gives power to the parking lights in the back and the license plate. But yesterday I realized by accident that when I just energized this guy with power, the whole entire system lights up for the parking lights, and that's which I've been trying to do. So I was gonna splice these two together and then get power to those joined splices, and that was gonna be my resolve, but I mean my solution. But look, it's even easier if I just get a simple wire like this and just connect it over here to this wire, and when there's power running through that wire, I can jump it to this faulty wire over here that's associated to the parking light relay that's not cooperating with me. And so if I do that, it's a fix. But that's easy. That's too easy. If I just a single wire to fix this solution, we're not going to do that. I already went about creating all of this. What do we have here? I'm going to show you guys my latest contraption. So over here you just have two wires that are connected by a fuse, a 15 amp fuse. This is a tap-in fuse, but I decided to be resourceful and use what I got instead of buying a new component for this project, because I kind of pretty much already have the necessities. I was just gonna solder this piece of the wire to this end of this fuse, and then the other end of the fuse I was just gonna, you know, solder another wire to continue that run, that inline fuse, and I was gonna call it a day. But I decided to reflect on the thought that what if this fuse burns out and I need to switch it out. And so obviously I need to make it so where it's replaceable, and so that's what this is right here. So I'm gonna wrap this up with electrical tape, and it should be it should be good to go. I'm obviously not gonna cover this piece, but we'll cover everything else that's exposed. And so this is pretty much done deal. And so what did I do here? I soldered a washer to this wire because I don't have a crimp tool. And so yeah, it worked. I tried it out and it works. This is conductive, it has continuity, it works. And so this is Gucci. I'm gonna throw this to the wayside because that connects to the positive red terminal of the battery. And so this over here is gonna be hooked up to the positive terminal. It's gonna be giving power to what I need, which is that relay parking light wire. I'm gonna cut right here. I'm not gonna cut. I am gonna cut right there, but not right now. Where does this connect? So I was about to explain. This is gonna connect to the blue wire on the relay. The relay, I'm gonna have it mounted pretty much right there on the Smart Junction box where it's located underneath the dashboard. I'm gonna have that bolted down, and that blue wire is gonna connect to the blue line from the relay. It's gonna power is gonna go into this relay. It's gonna exit out of this yellow line. This yellow line is the exit power line for whatever I need, what I want to power. So this is just gonna power this this line right here. So I'm gonna splice that in. Okay. What about the other cables? the white and black. The white and black, respectively, are meant for, the white one is for it's going to connect to the signal, and the black one's going to connect to the ground or any chassis of the car. Okay, so this white one, I'm going to have it connect to the switch. This switch is going to be my solution to not resolving how that switch works, that OEM switch for my 2008 Ford Focus. And so fuck that shit. Instead of breaking my head even further, I'm just going to go ahead and make do with what I got. I already tested it out and it works. This off and on switch is going to do the job. So you connect this to the power red line. This red line connects to power, which is going to be tapped into this tap-in fuse. It's going to go in there. I'm going to tap it into the alleged parking lot fuse, slot 23. And then that's going to energize this parking light switch. And then this is the exit. The black part will be the exit. The red is the entry for power. And so the black part is going to connect to the white wire of the relay. And so when I flip the switch, it's going to energize this circuit. It's going to complete the circuit. It's the open circuit when it's off and the closed circuit when it's on. And so it's going to energize this power coming through here from this fuse parking lot slot 22, and it's going to energize the power into this white wire, which therefore is going to turn on this relay. And as soon as you hear that audible click, it's going to allow power to transfer from the blue to the yellow wire. And that's pretty much it. The red wire is not needed for this case, so let's just go ahead and ignore that. I think I covered all the wires. Black is for ground, white is connects to the black end of the signal for the switch, and white is the output for the power to the device or accessory, whatever you want. In this case, my parking lights. The black is the ground, which connects to the chassis, and then I believe I got them all. And then the black is the connects to the positive line, to the positive terminal of the battery of the car. But don't forget that fuse in between, or else you can have a potential hazard. All right, that's the game plan. I'm gonna go ahead and continue making this a permanent fixture. As you see right here, this is pretty much what I'm getting into. I'm gonna go ahead and continue soldering. After I get some measurements, I'm gonna do some more cuts, and I'm thinking about extending this black cable right here. This black cable may not have a long enough reach for the relay to be grounded, and so I'm gonna go and do some measurements. I'm gonna go ahead and splice the black with this 16 gauge speaker wire, and yeah, that should give me enough reach to wherever the hell I want. Now, in regards to getting that grounded, I don't want to wrap that around the bolt. So what I'm going to do is the same shit what I did right here. I'm going to solder a washer. I think it's like a steel washer. There's some aluminum one, but I'm not sure how good of a conductive aluminum is. And so this is a washer that's, I verified its conductivity and it works. And so it's not meant for electrical projects, but fuck it. It works for me. I'm going to do the same to this end of the black wire. Of course, I might extend it. And then it's going to be towards the end of this, again, from this black wire. Which then I can screw down to the ground bolt for the chassis of the car. And we should have light. We should have light. Okay. That was a lot to go into. We're going to go ahead and move on. I'm excited, guys, because this issue has been persisting for longer than what it should be. But at least I'm learning a lot along the way. And I hope you guys can partake in some of the learning too as I'm doing this. Maybe some of you guys can take something out of this video. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue. I'll keep you guys posted on what I have next. I'm gonna go ahead and get another washer connected to the relay. This time this is gonna go to the black wire. And so I recommend sanding the washer down just to make sure if it has any, just in case if it has any like nano coating around it, it could prevent conductivity. And so I'm just going to scrape it off to ensure that it has conductivity. Okay guys, update. I'm gonna go ahead and take the next step. Already got this wired up. I needed some extensions on to these wires, the black and the white. And so that's why I spliced these wires in. I'm gonna go ahead and solder them together a bit. And then I'm gonna go ahead and heat shrink them together and solder this end over here to connect to the ground bolt of the chassis of the vehicle. And then this over here is gonna connect to the signal for the switch. All right, it's all coming together. Let's go ahead and let's do it. It is complete. Soldered the wires together, put some heat shrinking tube. That didn't go as planned, so I topped that off with another layer of electrical tape. And here's the finished results. So this is a washer. Again, I sanded down and soldered it. This electrical tape is not needed, but yeah, why not? I'll put it on here on the end of it. This is what's gonna be grounded to the chassis of the car, ground bolt. This, on the other hand, is gonna be the signal to that switch right here. All right, little by little, we're getting this project progressing forward. We're almost done. I think we got the hardest part done. We already tested out the theory, it works. So let's go ahead and move on. There's the car over there. All right, guys, I have everything wired in. As you can see, spaghetti of a mess. The Italians were here. I'm just kidding, they would have done a better job. This is a Chicano in play. All right, so what do we got? I have everything wired up. It's not a permanent fixture right now. I'm just gonna test it out, and then I'll go ahead and wire them up to be permanently connected to one another. But right now, just a moment of truth. I'm gonna go ahead and it's already on. Oh yeah, gotta connect the battery first. Pro tip, connect the battery first before you test any electronics. Okay, let's go ahead and follow my pro tip. Good. All right. Moment of truth, take two. This off and on switch should give power to this added relay. And we're gonna go ahead and see if that light bulb lights up. That's my indicator. It's my left parking light. All right, moment of truth. And let's go. Let's go. Crossing my fingers. Yeah, baby. Got it. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. All right. My next task is to drill a, what is this? 3/4 of an inch of a hole right here to house this button. And then I'll go ahead and wrap all of these guts back into the plastic cover and I'll call it a day. I'm gonna go ahead and check the back to see if it's lighting up. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and get it done. Oh, that's pretty cool. Matches the frame per second, frame rate. All right, let's go ahead and let's see if it fits. I think I need to disconnect this. And then I'll go ahead. Okay, let me try it. Just force this button in. I'm no cap. That shit looks fucking pro. It's a little tilted, maybe like 3 degrees to the counterclockwise. Maybe I gotta rotate it a little bit to the clockwise to offset it and to make it more perfect. You know what? I don't give a shit. Aside from that, this shit looks fucking badass. Fuck yeah, man. I like this. I like this. And then I could put a parking light, letter P right here, symbol or something. All right, let's go ahead and let's wire it in. Never crimped the tool before, anything before, so I don't have a tool for it. So I got creative and I used a plier and I just compressed the shit out of it. It's a tiny plier. It cost me a lot of effort to do this, but it's the deed is done. Let's go ahead and get this switch back in play for where it was, and we should be on our merry way. Okay, for anybody wondering, just struggling here. Anybody wondering how this fuse tab works? There's 2 slots for fuses. The first inner slot is closest to the inner 90-degree angle in regards to this fuse that goes into the Smart Junction box. This one right here, the most inner one, this one where I'm pointing my thumb at, that coincides with the original fuse. The one that you're tapping, the one that you're adding an additional fuse goes on top. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and put these fuses back in place. This is the original, this is the tap-in fuse. And honestly, I feel like this might be not needed, because this guy's not even working as it should be in regards to the parking lights. And since it's not even in service, I'm thinking about just tapping the wire straight up from here. But since it's already crimped this tool together to the switch, let's go ahead and just continue with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these fuses in play as where they should be respectively. This color right here will go there, just the original, and then this one will be on the outer. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put it in slot 23, which is the parking lot fuse. All right, let's go ahead and let's do it. Okay, so I got everything wired in. It works. This is a professional ass button right here, just saying. Anyways, right here, what do I have? I have this this port, this C280D port connector. What I did, I cut the parking lot relay, so that's why you see it out right here. It connects to this pin 20 on this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and wire the relay power output to the relay line for my car, so that way it can start wrapping things up. That's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and do so. Okay, here's an update. Got everything situated. Everything's permanently fixed in place. I tried something out in regards to ChatGPT and it didn't work out. And so I'm gonna do the opposite with advice, because that's what works. What do I have working here? Well, you see this this connection? It recommended I should disconnect this from the Smart Junction box, which I did, so I cut it. So it would be disengaged from it. And then I wired it up to the whole circuit that I have going on for the power and the relay and all. And only powers up the back parking lights. And I want it to power up the entire unit of the parking lights. And so I had to reconnect the wire that I cut to be back in play for the system, electrical system, parking lights. And then I connected the power to it, spliced it in, and yeah, it all works. This is a spaghetti of a mess, but this it's all good. I'm gonna go ahead and just zip tie these things back into a tidy spot so it doesn't look as messy. Then I'm gonna put the things back together, and that's pretty much it. Here's the button. There we go. It worked out. Called this a win. It took longer than I expected, but we're good. We're good. It works. Hopefully it doesn't drain my battery. I don't think it will, since I got a fuse and relay in play, so we should be good. That's a success, guys. We're gonna go ahead and call it there. Maybe I'll show you guys the conclusion of this, but this is pretty much it. Okay guys, it is now concluded. As you see, it's not the best organized setup, but it's a lot better than what it was looking like before. As you guys can see, I got all this spaghetti tidy up. There's the switch, the wire tapped into fuse slot 23, 15 amp fuse. It's getting power from that fuse slot 23 to power this switch. And then when I flip the switch on, you hear the relay click, because it's sending power to it's talking to the relay, which is the one I installed right here, to turn on and to submit power from the blue line to the yellow line, which powers my intended accessory. Okay, that's pretty much it. And I already showed you guys how to wire this up, so I'm not gonna get into too details right now. This is pretty much that's how it looks. It's the final setup. This guy right here is what I had to hook up power to for all this added wiring. All right, as you see, it works. It's off, and I'm gonna flip it on. All right. What a fucking W. We're done, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put the switch back in place and the covers, plastic covers, and that's pretty much it. Maybe, should I glue this in place right here? Have all my switches aligned? Maybe. Probably should. Not a crazy glue though. All right, that's it, guys. Hope you guys learned something. We're done. All right, guys, real quick. I have everything finalized. So you can see it reacts. This is the final setup. Just finished everything. And I know it could be organized better, but I'm just trying to quickly set this up. It's working. All right, final update. Here's the actual conclusion to this project. So everything's working. The switch is working just fine. You can hear the relay clicking alongside with that switch. All right, over here, what I changed was this final adjustment. I had a conversation with Chat GPT to review my setup, and I pretty much, what I ended up doing, I got the wire coming out from pin 20. I disconnected it, so that way there wouldn't be electrical feedback or electrical problems down the line. And I spliced in the yellow power output from the relay wire into it. And then I also joined that together with the front parking light wire coming out from, I don't know if I can get the camera on here. Yeah, kind of see it down there. Okay, it's already see this angle. There it is. You see it's coming out from here. This is the purple light, the violet white wire, electrical tape together with the red extension speaker wire, 16 gauge. Connected that to the yellow power output at the same connection I was mentioning just a minute ago. And so all of that's connected together to the output of the relay. That's where it's getting its 12 volts. When the relay's triggered on via the switch, it will get power from there, turning on all of this. And I also disconnected it from the Smart Junction box, so it doesn't have any electrical feedback. And so, according to ChatGPT, that's what was the best move. And one more thing, the fuses. I downgraded the fuse. The inline fuse is now a 10 amp fuse, and then the tap-in fuse is now a 3 amp fuse, because when you do the power equation, is equal to power is equal to current times voltage. You can rearrange that equation to figure out how much current is flowing through any circuit, and you can figure out the limitations of what can go through it. And so that's why a 3 amp fuse was best chosen for this application. And for the inline fuse, that's coming from the battery that's powering the relay, I downsized that from a 15 amp to a 10, because it's more proper, especially since some of these wires are pretty freaking thin. Anyhow, call that a dub. If you guys learned something, feel free to stick around, continue the working on life's challenges that we can figure out with these life hacks. Subscribe. Yeah. All right.